Well, today is going to be, I think, the first real day of winter. We're supposed to get 2 inches of snow later today, so we're trying to get all the animals prepared, and then we're going to get prepared to stay inside. Now, most of this weather was supposed to come last night, but they kind of pushed it back. So one thing we did, because we were supposed to get a mix of snow and rain and sleet and just a bunch of yuck, and it's supposed to last for a day or so. The Freedom Rangers, as you know, we still have those 25 Freedom Rangers that need to be butchered this week. We moved them inside to one of our barns because it's just going to get too cold and nasty to keep them in the tractor. So the last 2 days of their lives are going to be inside. Let's go check on them. Looks like they're doing okay. They're making a mess of that barn already though, just overnight. I can tell you one thing. These Freedom Rangers are just as messy as the Cornish Cross. They're both messy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying one is better, but they're messy. The plan is to process those on Wednesday this week. Two quail eggs. So another fun thing that should be happening this week is the quail eggs that we have in the incubator should be hatching later this week. Probably, well, the end of this week or next weekend. So this week, probably today, I need to get our second incubator set up so we can move the eggs out of the egg turner and into that other incubator.
The goats are all fluffed up because of the colder weather, but they have a warm area in the barn that they can go to when it gets cold. The babies are doing really well. They're growing up big and starting to eat some hay. All three of them now have owners waiting for them to be old enough to come to their farm.
Well, we're down to just one pig left. We're going to be butchering her at the end of this week. But we need to go check, make sure she's okay.
How are you today?
Yeah. One bucket of water later.
So we have today off because it's a teacher work day and it's a Monday, and the thrift store is only open on weekdays. And so we decided that a long time ago that the next Monday we had off, we'd be able to go to the thrift store, which we're really excited about because it's like my favorite place to go. And it's only open during school days, and I'm always at school, so I never get to go. And the weather's supposed to be really bad and like snow in a few hours, so we're hoping to quick run into town, go to the thrift store, run back home, and avoid getting snowed on because that would not be good. Today we're back at it with cutting up the hog, our first hog. We have done the belly and the loin and the front portion, like the shoulders of it. We've already done that, so now we just have the big back legs to take care of. This time we're actually going to grind most of that. On our homestead, ground meat is super valuable because we don't buy hamburger in the grocery store. Ground meat is one of the things that we use the most of. So even though the specialty cuts are kind of nice, the ground meat actually does better for us and goes farther for us.
So like Sarah said, we're gonna grind most of this meat. You know, we really struggle with how much to grind and how much to keep as other cuts. But at the end of the day, you know, ground meat, we'll use maybe a pound for a meal, where if we have roasts or pork chops and those types of things, we're using 3 or 4 or 5 pounds of meat in a meal. So in order to stretch our work, the ground meat is just really more of a benefit to us. Then we can, you know, if we want more, if we want, you know, to thaw out 2 pounds, we can. But we always grind it and freeze it in 1 pound increments, and it just makes it go a lot further that way. Even though these were big pigs, it's always a little disheartening when you don't get, you know, just these massive amounts of meat that you would hope. I'm hoping we're going to get 100 pounds of usable meat off this first pig, and it weighed in at 275 pounds. So Sarah's packaging up the bones from the hams, so we'll have that to make bone broth. And then here are the 2 containers of meat that now will run through the grinder. I'm hoping there's at least 40 pounds of meat there to grind. And then we also got a little bit more fat, and then we've got a bunch of fat in the refrigerator that will render all of that down into lard. How are you feeling about the amount of meat that we're getting off these pigs?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, they're big animals, so you expect like this gigantic amount of meat, but I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good. We already have, before all of this, we already have almost 50 pounds of meat.
Right, pork chops, yeah, roasts.
Yeah, the belly, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so I'm encouraged. And we have a second pig. Yeah,
right, we have another whole pig to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm ready to pack freezers.
Alright, well, we ran into a little problem. Our meat grinder that we normally use, somehow we've misplaced the blade for it. We've been looking for about 2 hours and we can't find it anywhere. But we do have a backup. A while back, someone that I went to high school with actually gave me this meat cutting bandsaw, and it has a meat grinder on it. I've never used it. I'm hoping that it's going to work okay. It seems pretty high powered. I took the bandsaw blade off because I don't want to accidentally touch that as I'm grinding meat. So I took the blade off, and we're going to use the meat grinder part of it. And it actually, we haven't tried it yet, but it looks like it works fine. So we're going to give it a try because we need to get all this meat ground, and I don't have time to continue looking for that blade. So let's see how it works. I actually think this is a lot more powerful than our tabletop grinder. This thing's doing an awesome job. Alright, well, all the meat is ground, so it's time to head inside, think about dinner, and get a fire started because it's getting cold out. Hopefully we still have enough coals from last night. Nope, looks like we let it burn out too long, so we're gonna have to start over. Oh well.
So guys, it's really dark out here and it started snowing. It's crazy. In Arizona, we never got snow like this. So it's just crazy to see all the snow. It's not my first time. We saw my first snow last year when it snowed, but it's just crazy. It's only November and it's already snowing. It's just so cool seeing snow.
Well, I thought after spending a whole day working on this pork, it's only fair that we have some for dinner tonight. So I thought I'd make a simple dinner, just some cabbage and some pork sausage. We found this sausage seasoning that we really like at one of our local grocery stores, and it's you know, just salt and spices. It doesn't contain any of the nitrates or, you know, that kind of stuff. So normally we just add it when we're going to cook it like this, but this time I think maybe tomorrow I might actually try. I bought some sausage casings. I might actually try making some sausage and casings, but for now we're just going to do it this way. I just sprinkle about a tablespoon of that seasoning on the meat and then just mix it in, and then we're just going to fry it in a pan along with some onions. And this is going to be really good. It's a mild Italian sausage seasoning, so sometimes easy dinners are the best dinners, especially when you're tired. Alright, we'll just let that simmer while we cut up our cabbage. I think I went the first 30 years of my life without ever eating cabbage. Or at least not liking it. But now, we love it. I love it. I think we all love it. Even the kids love it. We eat a lot of cabbage. You can add a little bit of water to the bottom, but typically the cabbage is so full of water as it is, I don't even do that. So, just put it on low, cover it up, let it start cooking down.
Look at how pretty the fire is.
My cabbage is cooking down nicely. We'll add the meat and the onions. That way all the flavor from the sausage will work its way into the cabbage. Look at that. Who needs one of those boxed meals when you can make something this easy that's this good?
The last thing we have to do tonight is to package up all this ground meat, this and all the other bowls that are still in the greenhouse because it's nice and cold out there. And we're going to put them in 1 pound packages. We like to use these quart size freezer bags, and we just lay them real flat, you know, squish them real flat, and put them in the freezer this way. That way when we use them, they thaw out really fast, and if we need them like really quickly, we can just put some hot water in the sink, and it just works out really well. So
I'm guessing we have somewhere around 40 pounds of ground meat that we ground up today, so maybe a little more. We have 5 bowls, so we'll see. If we can get 50 pounds of ground meat off this first pig, that would be awesome. it's exciting to get to this point in the year and know that the freezers are full and that winter, you know, we live off the hard work that we put in all summer. Well, I was hoping for 50 pounds of ground meat from this first pig, and I'm sad to say we missed the mark. 48 pounds. I'm pretty happy with that. 48 pounds of ground pork just from this first pig, plus about another almost 50 pounds of roasts and cuts and things like that. Plus, we still haven't weighed all the fat, but I would guess
there's a lot of fat.
Probably 30 pounds of fat that we're going to render down. Yeah. So we'll see how much that adds up, but this first pig has been a real success.
You guys, so thanks for joining us today. Kind of had a casual day to bring you along. If you're not a subscriber yet and you enjoyed this video and you're enjoying our channel, right now is a good time to hit the subscribe button below. For all of you faithful traditionalists that come back and watch all of our videos 5 days a week, we really appreciate you so much. Hey, share this video, share our channel with other people. We would appreciate it. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.